This is the top part of the old dam, so I've just done little mini swales in it, planted into it. That's where the first compost went in there along with the mulch. Seeded that, so hopefully it will grow. We've been harvesting some potatoes out of that leftmost potato box. Not a bad yield, could have been better. And hay bale bed is not doing so well. I think we put the mulch on too thick and also didn't water quite enough after the seeds were planted. So probably need to reseed that. And I'll take you a bit closer and show you the strawberries. So you can see the spiral poly pipe with all the little drippers in. And now in the hay bales which make up the bed itself, the raised bed, we've just planted strawberries into the hay bales. These are strawberry runners, of course, and so if they get through the winter then they will produce strawberries in the next season. And there's a citrus tree in the middle that will need protecting over the winter. And this is not hay bales in the centre, this is built up with layers of cardboard and carving sticks and mulch and compost and food waste and mulch on the top. We've got a few little popcorn cobs, some popcorn harvested, but it's been pretty dry and hot for the corn to grow. But we do have some pumpkins sizing up quite well. This is the rectangle garden, and it mainly had watermelon and some kind of squash, I think gourd actually. We got one gourd, and then some corn with sweet peas. So we tried the Three Sister thing, but this bed gets really hot and fairly dry, so things haven't really grown that well. We just haven't had the water to give them water every day, so we give them water maybe every third day. But the little watermelons will still be edible, just very small. Strawberry beds are doing well. This is where we harvest the runners from. Now they're doing okay despite not a lot of water, and they did produce for 3 or 4 months. They gave us strawberries, not huge amounts but enough. And the last thing I want to show you is the grey water system. There's a table there we're going to use in the greenhouse when we build the greenhouse. Okay, so I'm at the grey water system now. So what we have is a gravel container there. We had to cut that open a few months back because the water stopped flowing through it, and planted some stuff in it, and plants are doing okay, so they don't mind the warm water and any soap that comes in. There's still another barrel down in there with sand in it, but I'm really happy with how the bath plants are growing. As you can see, you can hardly see the bath. And yeah, plenty of growth. All the cannas are growing really well, and a few other plants. The cannas are producing suckers already, and I've already taken out a couple and given them away to other people, and I will do more of that before the winter. Also might cut them for mulch and get one more growth before the winter. Kind of got another couple months left. And the little pond down here is also doing pretty well. It's got a few little fish in there that are still alive, so again the water quality must be okay. And here's our little banana circle. We got 3 bananas from a new friend, and we planted papaya in there. So we often water them with this high nutrient water, although they're looking a little bit yellow at the moment. Getting bashed around a little bit by the wind, and the hot days is making it a bit difficult, but hopefully their roots are getting in there, and the roots will be strong enough that we can cover them over for the winter, mulch them heavily, put some hessian around them, and hopefully they will survive through the winter and then keep growing next year, and we'll see what happens, see if we get any bananas or not, and see if the papayas keep going. Last couple of things to show you are some vertical planting that we planted in old gutters, covered by shade curtain thing to stop the afternoon sun being too harsh. So these are just 3 gutters, slightly sloping so that they kind of flow into each other, and then the water that flows through drips into that white container. So again, a water saving strategy, but also quite close to the back door, front door, so it's kind of in our zone 1, and this is giving us some good vegetable green salad greens with some mustard and rocket and something else. And we just did 3 more recently. Those ones there are a couple months old now, plus a couple of apple trees, and we just did these 3 and planted them with strawberry runners. Yeah, we haven't put shade on them. Maybe we should, because it's been still quite hot some days. Some days are cloudy too, but hopefully some of them will keep growing. I'm not sure if I showed you the tank garden in the last video, but I decided to build this little rock wall and make a garden around our biggest water tank, because I noticed every time it rains there's a lot of runoff of the tank, and I wanted to make use of that water. So this bed needs less of us watering it, because every time it does rain, even if it's 1 mil, it will get at least 3 mils. It doesn't go all the way around, but it's on half the tank, so it collects the water. Now I've been spending quite a lot of time on trying to do some solar hot water. Haven't really succeeded yet, I don't think. So this temporary sits on a old bucket. It's electric hot water that obviously has the element taken out, so we've got 4 pipes going in, and the idea is that we get a thermosiphon in this spiral, which is just around a barrel. We can plant into that. If this works, we'll plant a tree in there, some tree that likes warm soil. It's got reflecting surfaces behind it, so the sun can heat the pipe on the other side as well as the front. The idea is that thermosiphons, and during the day when it's sunny, will heat the water up inside the tank, and when we go to have a shower, hopefully we'll get some hot water. Now we're going to try that for the first time. Today's been the first day that it's been hot all day, and the pipe got really hot, so we'll see if it actually did flow and if there's some stored hot water in there or not. One more thing we'll do if it doesn't work is we'll take this and hot water cylinder and put it down onto the floor, because it doesn't really need to be elevated, and then this pipe here might not have a little sag down, because you don't really want it to sag down. You want the pipe slowly going up all the way to the top, so that it's got an upward flow. So we'll see what happens, and then in the winter we will disconnect this spiral from the pipe. That's just 19mm poly pipe, and we'll build a rocket stove with some copper pipe. Put the copper pipe into the rocket stove to heat the water in the copper pipe, and hopefully in 15 minutes or so it will heat all the water in there, and we'll do that at say 4 o'clock, and then later on in the evening we can have a shower, and hopefully, because this is insulated, we should keep it hot. So I've got to figure out exactly where to put that little stove in and what to make it out of, but that's another future project. A lot of little projects happening. This is our shade house. I'll just step back so you can see it. So obviously we use the shade house in the summertime to provide some shade for the seedlings so they don't get too hot and they don't dry out. Let's see what we've got growing on here. So got a few little seed trays just planted today, nicely labelled, and we've got some willow cuttings We want willow, it's a shading tree, it's nicely deciduous. There's a roselle growing from seed, and a couple other things. So we've got a few shelves, and again we try and catch the water where we can, so I put a corrugated iron shelf, and that collects the water when it runs down, collects the water on the bottom that we reuse. We really don't want to waste any water. Now the light's getting a little bit dark, light's fading for the day, so with that I'll say goodbye.